The FBI is warning of online dating scams. The Bureau received more than 15,000 reports linked to romance scams last year. More than half of the complaints involved losses of money. Over the past 3 years, those scams cost Americans up to $210 million.
We started interacting with fake Facebook profiles in the network that we discovered. And, within a few minutes, we had 20, 30 Facebook friend requests from fake accounts. Within an hour, we already had 2 of these accounts asking us on private messaging to switch to Skype or Google Hangouts to go on, have a webcam conversation. Once we switched the conversation to Skype, one of these accounts within 5 or 6 minutes was already asking us, do you want to remove your clothes in front of the webcam so that we can, engage in some sexual activity. What is clear is that there's a lot of people behind this. It's very highly organized. They have, an almost industrial method to seek out their victims and, try and separate the chaff from the wheat.
For the victims, the potential consequences go far beyond embarrassment or even money lost through extortion. Consider the similar case of Amanda Todd. 5 years ago, the BC teen was coaxed into posting compromising images and then blackmailed. In desperation, she took her own life.
Parenting has never been easy, but it seems in the digital age, we have more blind spots to worry about.
One day, I was on the internet and came across a website that our school had set up for everyone in our grades from 6 to 8. It was an area where we were able to talk about homework, sports, and other highlights that were going on with our friends. I got really excited that everybody was coming together. We started our own chat room that we could all just talk about everything, our families, our friends, school, anything that bothered us that day. That afternoon, I got an instant message. I didn't know who the person was, so of course I asked, "Hi, who are you? How do you know us?" And they just kind of came across saying, "I'm a friend of somebody you know." The more we started talking, he started asking me more questions, but I didn't think much of it. Like, "What's your school colors?" "Mine are red and black." So of course I said, "Well, mine are black and silver. How neat. Those would go great together." So we just formed a great friendship, and it was really nice. Little did I know that that person on the other side of the computer screen was a grown adult. His profile had all the signs of being a 14-year-old teenager, just like we were. He played football, soccer, he talked like we did. He had pictures of a younger gentleman that could have been a teenager, and he really played the game well. This stranger drove 4.5 hours and found out my routine. He knew where I lived, where I went to school. He knew when I got off the bus and when my parents went to work. He knew everything about me, even down to where my practices were for soccer and cheerleading. After my mother and I finished lunch, we went home. I changed clothes and began to walk to my next babysitting job. As I was walking down the road, I noticed a green truck following me. Before I knew it, he stopped, rolled down his window, and asked if I was Amanda. Before I could answer, he opened the door and threw me in. I was frozen, in shock, and completely terrified. He then took me to a local hotel where this online predator held me for hours against my will. I was brutally raped, assaulted, and I didn't know if I would ever go home again. After being held captive for 5.5 hours, this online predator dropped me off on the side of the road where my mother and the police were waiting.
Well, the big story at Action News at noon is breaking news from Mercer County, New Jersey, where 24 suspected child predators have been arrested. Authorities say the suspect tried to use social media to lure underage victims.
Because it's so much part of their culture.
But those secret apps are just part of the story. Nancy Jo Sales has been reporting on youth culture for more than a decade. In Sales's new book, American Girls, Social Media and the Secret Lives of Teenagers, she explores the dangers of coming of age in a world ruled by social media.
Among the 24 arrested, authorities say a firefighter, a nurse, and a Howell Township, Monmouth County Police Sergeant, Richard Conti. That's him third from the left.
Conti claimed during his chats that he was a 19-year-old man. You're looking at evidence of a crime. These photos belong to a social media profile of a local teenager, but the profile was created without the teen's knowledge. The child's parents, who spoke to me exclusively, are especially worried because the profile includes their daughter's email address and cell number, and the child has been contacted by men she doesn't know.
It's not the technology that's bad. It's the lack of supervised use.
He's married. No. It means that the person she's been talking to is a fake. He says she's who she says she is. This is her. It checks out.
This could just be another fake profile. This is bad news.
She's a catfish.
Oh my God.